Hey guys, we're going to look at factorizing. We're going to look at common factor, difference of squares, and trinomials. However, whether you're doing difference of squares, trinomials, or common factor, the first thing you should always be doing is looking to see if there is a common factor in your expression, which we can see in this case there is. 20 and 5 is divisible by 5. They also have an x squared common and a y. You are then left with, put your brackets down, put your sign in. If you have two terms here in your brackets, you should always have two terms. That means there is a y cubed, and 20 divided by 5 is 4, and you need an x. Let's look at the next one. 3 and 15, there is a 3 common as well as an x, which means the x plus 15 divided by 3 is 5, and you don't need another x. Okay, let's look at the next one. 2 common and a squared. Put down your bracket, put your sign in. 10 divided by 2 gives you 5, and you need an a. Now you'll notice here that your common factor is the same as that term, so that means you're just going to multiply it by 1. So 2a squared times by 1 will give you 2a squared. Next one, you have an x common left with, put your brackets, good idea, x minus 3. Okay, let's look at difference of squares. So difference of squares looks like this. You have perfect square separated by a minus sign because x squared is x times x. 4 is 2 times 2. X squared minus 9. We could do 64 x squared minus 49. Do one last one. 25 minus x squared. Okay, so let's see, how do we do these? So they are quadratics because of the square, and that means we will have a double bracket, x plus 4, x, oh, sorry, my mistake. Sorry, that will just start again. Sometimes good to make mistakes and learn from them. X minus 2, because 4 squared is the square root of 4 is plus 2 and minus 2. Next one, square root of 9 is 3, so we'll have 3 there, so I don't make that mistake again. X plus 3, x minus 3. Next one, square root of 64 is 8, so you'll have 8x. Square root of 49 is 7, so we'll have a plus and a minus. Lastly, 25 plus x, sorry, 5 minus x. Okay. All right, just have a look at these combinations. You sometimes first have to take out a common factor, or you have to always check for that. So if you take out the common factor, they're both divisible by 5 and they have an x common. And when you write down what's left over, you will get x squared minus 4. And you'll notice that this here is a difference of squares. So you can see it's that first one that we did. Okay, so you need to identify that this expression has not yet been fully factorized. So you need to also factorize the difference of squares that's in your bracket. Okay, we'll do another one. 3 common as well as x. So you're left with x squared minus 9. And again, you can see it's the second one that we did over here. It's a difference of squares. So we need to fully factorize it. X plus 3, x minus 9. And we'll do one last one of this. Take out a 2 common, left with x squared minus 4. And you can see the difference of square there, so that's x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay, let's have a look at a few trinomials quickly. So you have x squared plus 4x minus 12. Okay, it's a quadratic, so we need to have our double brackets. You're going to have x and x. Now you need to find the factors of 12, and when you subtract them, that gives you 4. So 12 times 1 is 12, but 12 minus 1 gives you 11, so that won't work. So that looks like it's going to be 6 and 2. 6 times 2 is 12, and 6 minus 2 gives you 4. Put your numbers in, and then decide what your sign is going to be. You need a positive 4, so that means you have to have plus 6 minus 2. Okay, we'll do one more. X squared minus 9x plus 18. A trinomial. By the way, recognize a trinomial. You've got an x squared, an x, and then just a constant. Okay. You have x and x. You want to find the factors of 18. So 18 times 1, added together gives you 9. So that would be 6 times 3. So 6 times 3 gives you 18, and 6 plus 3 makes 9. So you have your 6 and your 3 in there. Then decide your sign. That's minus 9. So we would have to go minus 6 minus 3. We subtract them, that gives us minus 9. And minus 6 times minus 3 gives you your positive 18. Right, we're just going to have a look at these two last questions, combinations. You will remember at the start I said always, your first step factorizing should always be to see if your expression has a common factor, which this one does. It's divisible by 2. So you're left with x squared minus 10x plus 25. You then, when you finish, just stop for a moment and say, well, what I've got left over, is that perhaps, can that factorize any further? Yes, I can recognize my trinomial x squared, x, no x. So this is a quadratic. Factors of 25 added together, that makes 10. Well, you should know by now that that will be 5 and 5. And minus 5 and minus 5 will make minus 10. One last one quickly. This one is divisible by 3. Check for a common factor. You're left with x squared minus 8x plus 15. 45 divided by 3 is 15. 24 divided by 3 is 8. You will then see that that is a trinomial, which can be factorized further. X and x. We need the factors of 15 added together to make 8. So factors of 15, 15 times 1, or that will give you 16, so that's not correct. But if I go 5 times 3, that is 15, but 5 plus 3 makes 8. So my numbers is 5 and 3. Remember to start your sign at the end. You then have minus 5, minus 3, which makes minus 8. Thank you very much for watching.